have a question right now.
Well, I'm not on the panel, but okay. I've told this to Chris and Jean, but I didn't tell you. For me as an actor, playing Brad was really one of the greatest experience of my so far professional career. I came from days and I played very much of the archaic character, hero, and I played Brad, and he was so flawed and goofy and stupid, and I loved it. And I would learn my lines and go on a walk, and I'd be like, are they? I mean, I felt like somehow we were like writing it together, but I had nothing to do with it. So I would go and they gave me, it's like I felt like they gave me these toys to play with in a sandbox, and I would go in, I would play with them, and then I would come back and there'd be more toys, and I would be like, oh great, and I had so much fun. So I mean, I've told them this before, and I say thank you for the opportunity. And I love the way the character was taken off, even though it was just sad. It was really sad to not play Brad anymore. I just had enjoyed it so much. But that's a good example of I don't know they saw me and maybe wrote more for me, or they just saw the character. It felt very symbiotic, and but it was a joy. It was a real joy.
Hey, I just had two quick questions. One for Trent, what was your reaction when they told you you'd have to dress like a woman? And for Colleen, what was it like working with Anthony Herrera, the character of James Stenbeck, which even though he died many times, it was still great to see him come back?
The first time I dressed as a woman, I believe I was faking pregnancy, and look, I've worn heels before, it was not a big deal. It was finding the right heels. Where they found the best heels they found was when I played Ethel, when they did Fred and Ethel. Those heels were fantastic. But the weird thing about the first time I played it is that the wig they put on me and the makeup job, it looked exactly like my mother from about and that was the freaky part. The other ones, get-ups, there was something completely, but that was strange.
That was a lot of makeup. Remember with what's her name? Geneva Swift? Because they added in prosthetics and...
Yeah, and weight. A lot of chiropractic work after that part. Talk about Anthony.
Anthony, who's actually driving, I talked to him this morning, and he's driving up from Mississippi from his home right now. James and Barbara, 30 years together, he still calls me his fictional wife. I just closed a show here in town 3 weeks ago, and it was 2 days before I closed, and all of a sudden the stage manager knocks on my door at the end of the show. Your husband's here. I went, no, he's not. And I read this, hello, wife. I said, that's my fictional husband. But Anthony and I mean, all of us who know Anthony, we used to refer to him as our mascot, because he is such a character in real life. He's so unlike James Stenbeck in real life, but in the mid-years, say 15 years ago, what used to drive me crazy was before every scene, it was this. He would jump up and down, and I would throw a line to the stage manager going, I'm going out of my mind with this actor. And believe me, we kind of resolved our differences. and it's been this just bizarre, wonderful work relationships, and the two characters are whacked, both of them. So it's been really fun, and he remains very much a fixture in my personal life. So it's lovely. In fact, we're doing something together for, as you know, Anthony's he's a miracle man, walking miracle man of cancer, and we're doing something together for stem cell research on the 12th of September here in town, down at Ground Zero.
Hi, thanks. Sort of following up on the whole death of daytime thing, from an actor's standpoint, is New York going to be a viable place to make a living? And do you plan to stay in New York, or are you heading west?
Was it Broadway?
You know, yeah. There's, oh my, yes. and there are movies. There's all kinds of stuff going on here. Oh, don't leave. You know.
It's actually, I was just talking about this yesterday. The last 4 auditions I had, one shot in Vancouver, the other one shot in Toronto, one shot in Austin, Texas, and the other one was in Atlanta. So
Atlanta's getting really big.
I mean, it's really all over.
But they're cast here.
They cast here, yeah. So whether you're in LA or New York, you're gonna go on tape anyway. So
a
it's
lot of
really
it's not even done on tape anymore. A lot of it's done over the internet, and actors are submitting auditions actually over the internet. It's amazing.
I think
this has changed so much.
The loss of daytime, what was amazing for me is to come to work and they've hired Terrence Mann to play a lawyer for 6 months. Some Tony winners in town doing a Broadway gig, and during the day they'll come and work with me and I'll be in the car going, and that's the loss, I think, of daytime is you have this mixture of all these different talents, especially here in New York, that you're not going to get on the West Coast as much. It's just a great day gig for everybody. So that sucks. Yeah.
We're down to 1 daytime show in New York. How many did there used to be?
Oh, God. 12.
In New York?
In New York? Well, yeah. Had to be. CBS we had a whole building full of them.
We're down to 1 life to live. So it's a huge transition for not only actors, but everybody in the industry. In every different union that works within the confines of television. We're a huge industry in the city of New York, and hundreds and hundreds of jobs have been lost over the last few years with the death of several shows, and then with all my children moving to California. So a lot of people have moved. A lot of people have moved to California. A lot of actors have moved to California. A lot of production people have moved up there as well. And some of us are not. And, you know, roots are here, and feel that work is here. Right, Trent? You're not leaving.
But even, it's not just daytime, even Law and Order.
Right.
Yeah.
It's Law and Order Los Angeles now. Right. You know, so.
But interesting, a lot of business is moving back in. So there are a lot of shows that are coming back in as well, because they see an opening. And the tax credits were just renewed.
Oh, yeah. Really?
What?
Yeah,
Tax. It's all about money.
Have a question out there?
This is not so much a question as I just want to thank the cast so much for so many years of entertainment. My history with As the World Turns goes back a lot of years. It was always on in my house. My grandmother watched it. Not to date anybody, but my mother watched it, so I grew up with it through osmosis. Not to give away my age, but when I was in first grade, I happened to be home from school sick one day, and that's when they had the announcement about JFK's assassination. I was watching As the World Turns when I was in first grade. So I go back a long time, and about 10 years ago, I had really the pleasure of going to see you in action. I won some auction, and we went to see you shoot some scenes, and I met you, Eileen, and I met so many of the cast, and it was just such a thrill to see you all in your environment and actually seeing what goes into putting on the show. It's just amazing. So I just really wanted to say thank you, and thanks for so many years. I really enjoyed it.
Well, Chris, we have a special preview. Would you want to set it up of what we're going to see right now?
Well, this is just a short preview of an upcoming show. I think it's airing at the end of this month. Belinda, at the end of this month, correct? The scene, or Kelsey. Yep. And it's part of our happy ending, so let's take a watch. Take a look. Thanks.
Into this holy union, Carly Tenney and Jack Snyder come now to be joined. If anyone here can show just cause why they may not lawfully be married, speak now or forever hold your peace.
What the?
Is there a problem?
No, Reverend, there's no problem. Nothing, and no one would ever dare try to stop us.
Carly, will you take this man to be your husband?
Yes.
There's more.
Oh, of course there's more. Okay, what's the next bit?
Will you live together in the covenant of marriage?
Promise to live with Jack, raising our kids, loving him. I think I can do that.
Will you love him, comfort him, honor and keep him?
That was always the plan. And we've been through for better or for worse, so I know I can do that.
Forsaking all others, will you be faithful to him for as long as you both shall live?
He's mine. I'm his. That's that.
Will you, Jack?
What, make a covenant there? I will. Love her, honor her, comfort her, and keep her? Absolutely. And as far as being faithful, she's mine and I'm hers. And that's that.
Do you just want to talk about that scene and what went into the thinking?
Well, you know, I think the simplicity of it was important. That, I mean, how many different ways can Jack and Carly say they will always love each other? And I think what we wanted this time was the sense that it was down to basics. I'm his, you know, she's mine, and it's going to last this time. And I really believe it's going to last.
Well, there's only one way to celebrate the legacy of As the World Turns, and that's with the parties. And we have a reception upstairs where we can talk to our guests and just talk to each other about the tradition and about viewing this program that's lasted for 54 years. So I want to really thank our panel for coming and talking to us.